you mentioned like medium size. Can you define like what's a medium size artist to you, more specific?
Yeah, medium-sized artists to me would be. It's actually not so much about size in terms of following and monthly listeners and things like that. Obviously, it's a factor, but it's more so the level of consistency, the level of seriousness that I see in an artist, the branding of an artist, whether or not I see them investing proper money into themselves. Not necessarily investing a bunch of money into like producers, engineers, and things like that, but into videography, into just their marketing in general. Because they're just a medium-sized artist is just someone who I can see that takes their music seriously and has a little bit of momentum. It's not necessarily someone with 10,000 monthly listeners or 100,000 monthly listeners or 50,000 monthly listeners. It's just someone that I can define as, has all the, things about them that if they were a bigger artist, they would be able to maintain themselves and make a career out of their music, if you know what I mean. That's how I would define it. A bit complicated for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and with this, like producers I speak with, I work with, I always tell them like to see how serious an artist is. So like if you had to like if you let's say you found an artist that was ideal for you, like followers and monthly Spotify listeners, and you had to like look at like how serious they were, like what things that would stand out to you to be like, okay, this guy looks pretty serious, like somebody I could work with probably because they look serious.
Yeah, it's for me, it's obviously production and engineering is one thing because if you got the music patterned, you're great. If you got great music, amazing. But at the same time, that's just one factor. Um, I would say getting good videography, shooting good reels, posting reels consistently as well is a really big thing. If people are inconsistent in posting and advertising and marketing themselves, how am I expecting someone to be a consistent client or a customer that's going to be a repeat buyer? You know, if I can add value to you as an artist, but you can't even put that value that I add to you and advertise that properly to then earn your money back from that. It's like, why would I spend my time pursuing you? Because, it just seems like, if they're unserious about their own brand, they're not going to be serious about working with me consistently. So they're not the kind of people that I would be, chasing constantly. Of course, there's a billion artists that make great music, but there's probably a million that make great music, have good marketing, advertise themselves properly, make sure everything about their brand and their image is marketable and patterned. And if an artist doesn't have a lot of those key factors, it just makes them look unserious and it kills the motivation a little bit to pursue that relationship. But of course, when it's patterned and it's great and they've got everything, it's like the light turns green. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's after that artist.